Well, you all knew it was coming, and now it's time for the review of the Trangia 27. So, tag along. Almost 6 months ago I bought myself my Trangia 27, and it's already time for the review. And those of you who follow me for a while might think that this is a short time for me to make a review, but since I've been using Trangia cooksets for pretty much all my life, at least all my adult life and my teens, I feel pretty confident that I can give my 2 cents about this kit and still have a modicum of accuracy. So let's open it up. I've been thinking about getting the 27 for quite some time, and when I was almost ready to make a purchase, the Trangia came with an offer to custom build the 25, and I felt pretty confident that they would do the same with the 27. So I basically waited it out, and sure enough, just in time for their 100-year anniversary, they released the options to custom build the 27. And since I've been mulling over it quite for some time, I was pretty certain what parts I was gonna take and why. So I thought we would start by running down the line and see what choices did I make, and did they live up to my expectations. And I will also tell you about the reasoning about the different parts. So let's start with the frying pan. I see many people, they talk about getting really lightweight stuff like titanium and so forth, and I went the totally opposite route. I took the Duossal, and it's stainless inside and it's aluminium on the outside, and this makes it at least twice as heavy as the original pan, the aluminium one, and also 3 times the cost. And for those who are going for ultralight, this might seem like utter madness, paying thrice to get double the weight. But there's a reason to the madness. The first reason being the heat retention. Stainless steel and combined with the aluminium, that's basically how you make a pro chef frying pan for a restaurant kitchen. They layer it up like a lasagna with aluminium and stainless in layers, 5 to 6, 7 layers. It's pretty common. This is just 1 aluminium layer and 1 stainless, but it gives it much better heat retention. While lightweight materials like aluminium and titanium, they have the heat retention of a paper towel. So basically, when you get those kind of fans up to heat and you put something in there, they're cold again and you have to heat things up. This stays hot. When you put something in, okay, you can't indefinitely put things in, you will shock the pan. That goes for every pan. But it stays pretty hot, so you can start cooking right away. And for me, that's something that's pretty important for, like, example, searing a steak. I don't want to get cold again, because then you never get the mild reaction. And a side effect that I didn't count on is that actually the aluminium gets hot pretty quick and spreads the heat radially before the stainless gets the heat. So it kind of negates the problem with the hot spot I always had in the thinner frying pans. there's still the hot spot, but it's larger and not that pronounced. So that's an added bonus that I didn't count on, but that actually made me really happy. The second reason, it's the durability. Stainless, you have to mistreat it pretty much to make dents in it or in any way harm the surface. And I've seen my non-stick pans, they don't fare well when I'm around. Just let's face it, I tried with the plastic sporks and whatnot, and they just melt in the pan. So I scratched and dented the non-stick, and when I got up to heat, I actually reached the limit where the non-stick surface starts to deteriorate. The stainless, I won't be able to produce the kind of heat that makes it deteriorate. So for me, that's a bonus. Unless I take a chainsaw to the pan, I will not really harm it in a meaningful way. And it's also easy maintenance. At home, I love to use cast iron, but you have to maintain it. You have to keep it seasoned. The seasoning keeps for quite a while, but sooner or later you have to do a new seasoning. Or if you neglect your maintenance, you have to do a lot of work to get the pan up to speed. Trying to season a stainless pan, it's a waste of time because it won't stick. Instead, everything sticks to the stainless pan more or less until it's done. Then the pan lets go. So then you can just flip it over. And what little sticks, that's what the chefs call the fond. And that's the base for a sauce if you want to do one. If you don't want to make a sauce, well, when you're done with the pan, just leave it on the stove, put in some water, wait a minute, let it simmer, and then a quick brush with it, and it's basically clean and ready to go for the next adventure. So that's pretty much it. So the non-stick part, I think this performs non-stick as good as I can expect. And it's absolutely smashing to cook with. So I stand by my choice. I still think that the Duossal was a very good choice for me and my preference in using a cook set. Let's go down to the kit. Then we have the combined strainer and cutting board. I took that. It works very well as a strainer. I usually bring another cutting board, so I'm not using this one for that purpose. But still, I'm glad I'm having it, and it keeps the cook set tight. And as I said, straining it works as good as you can expect. If you're going for a non-stick, I would definitely recommend to get one of these strainers cutting boards, because it will protect the surface to a non-stick better than the little plastic film that comes with it, the original. So for the non-stick supporters, do get one of these. In the end, that will be a win for you. And then the grab handle. Just before the option to custom build the T27 came around, the new red one became an option, and it was a no-brainer for me for pretty obvious reason why I chose just a red grab handle. Works just the same as the ordinary ones, but I think it looks nicer. And this woolen pouch keeps it from rattling around, and comes one from the start. my own addition. And then the coffee kettle I had from the start. I bought this earlier on because it fitted nicely with my Mini and with the triangle. So I already had it, so I didn't buy one extra. If I hadn't had one, I would definitely bought it because, you know, coffee is kind of important for me. And I took this metal knob because I also use these ones on campfires and whatnot, and I succeeded to melting down the plastic knob on more than one occasion. So the metallic one is the one for me. And inside here I keep nicks and knacks, sometimes the burner, a little tea towel, a Scotch-Brite for washing up. And then we have the saucepans. They're basically the same size. The volume is the same, but they're just a tad difference in height and diameter to get that effect. I took hard anodized because from what I gathered, these are a bit more resistant to wear and tear. I'm not particularly worried about what you say, that aluminium and acidic food shouldn't be combined because it's a health hazard. I've talked about that in length in other videos, and as the science community stands today, we don't have any proof that the amount of aluminium that you get from cooking acidic stuff in it actually is a health hazard. I guess it's better to be safe than sorry, but it's not really a concern of mine because it's not that often I use aluminium in cooking. I never do it at home, for example. But hard anodized, and since that's the treatment that kind of sticks to the material, it's not an extra layer, so no extra weight for that. An extra cost for me, well, I think it's worth it. For now, they're looking good inside. Can't see any signs of wear and tear from the 6 months I used it pretty heavily. And then we have the outer and the inner windshields. I also got them in hard anodized, and that's, for me, that's purely for aesthetic reasons. I think it looks better. I don't think there is a functional purpose for hard anodized in the windshields. So just aesthetics. But vanity has its price, and hard anodized, it's a bit more expensive, that's for sure. And I like the new edition. It's been quite a few years, but since my T25 is almost 50 years old, they didn't have this hole for the hose to the gas burner, and that's a welcome addition in my world. And the windshield together, they work as well as one can expect from a Trangia cookset. I have several occasions when the wind have knocked down my camera while filming, but to this date there's never been an occasion where the wind has succeeded to snuff out the flame in any of my burners with this around. So they do a marvelous job as expected. And then we have the burners. My go-to, the Spirit burner. Have always went back for this during all the years, and it's good. There is this middle ground I sometimes miss, the difference in temperature when you have no simmering and when you have a fully open one. there is a middle ground there. I can really miss that sometimes. But for the most part, with the simmering or just full throttle works good for me. And the upside is this one, it will just keep on going. A gas burner, when it gets too cold, it just won't perform. But when the cold forces this one to quit, that's when the spirit freezes. And when that happens, I have no inclination being outside, because that happens at 140 negative Celsius, and I don't want to be outside in those temperatures. I don't think anybody will. And I think the cold record we measured is kind of negative 90 Celsius. So this giving up because of the cold ain't gonna happen. And I got the Storm a bit later on. I used it heavily to get acquainted with it. I heard people that got it say that it's a game changer. It's supposedly have a better effect than the old Trangia burner. So it works on higher heat and it's more silent. The effect side of things, I haven't really given it much thought. But it's definitely more silent than the other gas burners I have. And some other good details. This valve, it can twist and turn freely. So there's no way you can mount the hose on the gas canister and have to put the gas canister on the side or upside down because you mounted it wrong. You can always adjust it. What I like with this one, it's excellent temperature control. Just a bit twist of the knob and then you have the desired temperature. That middle ground where that I wanted from the spirit burner, you have that here. Infinite number of middle grounds wherever you want to keep it. So where the spirit burner is lacking, the Storm is shining. The backside, of course, it's the noise from gas burners. Even if it's more silent than the other gas burners I tried, it's still noisy. Not necessarily a noise that it register all the time, but when you turn it off and the noise disappears, you kind of take a sigh of relief. So, will this one push the spirit burner off the board? No, I don't think so. This comes when I need good temperature control. When it shines, that's when I'm using it. But the other times, I do appreciate the silence of a spirit burner. It's hard to get away from that fact. I want a silent kitchen. Another addition I had originally from the T25, but I used it first on the 27, is this pot stand. You can put it inside the windshield like so. And then you have a safe place to put pots that are smaller than the Trangias. For example, I used the Mocha Brewer on one occasion, and it works as it's supposed to. This is very much an optional kit, and if I'm not absolutely certain I will use it, I won't bring it out. It's nothing that always stays packed in my T27, but it's nice to have when I need it. And last but not least, probably the most unimportant part of the kit, the bag. You can basically keep the kit in any kind of bag, a used grocery bag or whatnot. For me, still, it was a no-brainer to get it. I like that it's made in the right size for the cook set. The bright red color makes it easy to find in the backpack, especially if it's starting to be a bit low light. It immediately identifies what it's in the bag. And it also keeps any soot and other debris from the kit contained in this bag. I want to put it down the backpack so the backpack doesn't get full of soot or anything that lives in the backpack. It's not as durable as the kitchen itself. My old Trangia kit, that's almost 50 years. It has lived through 3 of these bags and is now on the 4th. But when this one kind of gives up and deteriorates to a state where it's not functioning anymore, I will probably buy a new one. So there we have the different parts, and by now you have been watching me, you know I'm lousy to remember stats, so you'll find them in the description. Well, the judgment about this kit. Is it any good? Well, I said before that the T25, that's my benchmark for an outdoor cook set. And if I find a set that is better than the T25, I will buy it. As it turns out, that's the T27. To be fair, there's been at least 45 years of product development between my 25 and this 27. So I reckon that a lot of those improvements I really like with this 27 is present at the 25. But since I'm mainly a solo hiker, the 27 more fits my needs. It's just right for 1 or maybe 2 persons. Well, the 25, the bigger size, is more of 3 or 4 people kit. But definitely this raises the bar for what I expect from a cook set to use it. I haven't tried all the cook sets around, let that be said, but I'm pretty certain that the Trangia's quality is second to none. And you'd be hard pressed to find a cook set that has higher quality, lower weight, more compact, lower price, lower weight, and still offers the same variety of cooking. And if you by any chance find such a kit, do tell me about it, because I will be very interested to get one for myself. If you're an ultralight hiker that mainly wants a way to get your water boiling for a freeze-dried kit, well, this isn't for you, I can tell you that much. There's loads of better alternatives for you out there. But if you're more like me, you like cooking outdoors for real, like you do in the kitchen, I have yet to find a kit that does it better without paying an arm and a leg. Everything fits in a pretty compact compartment. You got everything you need, and top that off with 2 burners that are top-notch. I'll doubt to find a better kit for outdoor cooking. That's my 2 cents. Could I ask for more? Yeah, I can. The T27 kettle has a bit of another design than the T25, that's straight down. And for me that likes to pack stuff in the kettle, the burner and tea towels and whatnot, this leaves me with a bit of negative space that's really benefits no one. So I would rather see the straight design from the T25 kettle. That would be much better for me, and the way I pack my Trangia. So that's the design flaw. I mean, it looks nice and all, but that's something I think that's worse than the T25. And we have the lower windshields. Before they soldered on these eyelets for the strap. Now instead they obviously press them from the same material, and that means less weight for the kitchen. It also probably makes it cheaper since it's one less production stage. But this design makes it damn fiddly to get the strap on. And I did a hack, so I just put a piece of duct tape on each side, and now it's easy to get the strap on again. But I shouldn't have to. For me as a consumer, I think the Trangia should have left well enough alone. And if I had to buy this equipment and pay an extra euro for it because it became more expensive, on the number of times I put on and take off the straps, it would make it worth it for me, that's for sure. And last but not least, the frying pan is top notch, but I've said this before and I'm gonna say it over and over again. Top on my wish list is the Saucepan they have made for the T25. I want that both for the 25 and the 27 in Duossal. As for now, as I said, it's only available for the T25 and in non-stick at that. But Trangia, pretty pleased with sugar on top. Make the Saucepan in Duossal for both T25 and T27. I'll gladly sign up as a test pilot for it. With that said, all in all, if you like me, like to cook food from scratch outdoors, I have a hard time thinking of a kit that will do it better. And I said before, if you do find one that puts the Trangia out of the board without ruining the bank, do tell me about it. I'm interested. And since my old kit is still performing smashingly after almost 50 years, I expect this kit to be cooking away outdoors long after I'm pushing up the daisies. And you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a damn good outdoor cook set, and that's basically the same thing. Well, thanks for sticking by me this far. If you took something from this video, don't hesitate to give me a thumbs up. It really helps me on the channel and gets this video spread a bit more. And I love to hear your comments. Do you think this is a fair review of the kit, or is it plain rubbish? Do you have other kits that you think are superior? Do let me know in the comments below. And if you're not a subscriber already, you might consider pressing that subscribe button, and right beside it there's the bell. Press that to get notifications when I'm out doing more shenanigans and not just talking about the kits but actually using them. And last but not least, a huge thanks to my members that supports me and helps me making more videos than I did before. But until the next time I catch you, take good care, and I'll see you then. Cheers.